morning, everyone, and welcome to Spotlight. My name is Marilyn Hemingway, and I'll be introducing my co-host in a moment. We have lots of information to share with you. It's going to be a short show today because if you've noticed, my background is a little bit different because I'm traveling for good reasons. A great family event happened in Durham, North Carolina at Duke University, and I'll be heading back home. It's still happening, but I wanted to dash in and be a part of Spotlight. This is my regular Saturday to host, so I'm here to dash in and share some information. So right after our opening, I'll be joined by my other host. So we'll see you in a moment.
Heavenly Father, we ask you to put a hand of protection.
Welcome back, everyone. Let me bring my co-host on today, Marvin Neal, president of the Georgetown NAACP. Good morning, Marvin.
Good morning, Marilyn. How you doing? I had a birthday yesterday.
You did have, it's not. Today is my mother's birthday. I was about to say you and my mother share a birthday, but you're the day before she is. So happy birthday, Marvin. I saw you and Linda were taking some time to celebrate.
Yeah, we took a little time to celebrate. We were working at the house there most of the day and stuff, but hey, 62, hey, chapter 63 on the way.
Yeah, 62 is a good day. It's a good day to hit 62.
And a lot of shout outs too, Marilyn. I didn't know I had that much friends and stuff. They just shout out. I had over 1,000 shout outs. I said, hey, some of them even said they love me. Wow.
Marvin, you have friends. It's good to know.
I also want to
make sure friends.
Sometimes I feel some kind of way and stuff. Especially the horns come out after you sometime and stuff. But it's good to know I got some friends backing me now.
Yeah, I totally understand that. So Marvin, we want to start out with just reminding folks. I've been moving around a lot up here in Durham, so I got my mask. And look, one's fashionable black, and one is that basic blue. And I have some others with me also. So we're not going to get too deeply into COVID today because everyone knows what we need to do. Wear a mask and
get vaccinated.
And we've been beating that drum for over a year now. And happy birthday. Somebody's telling you happy birthday. Yeah, sometimes we can't see your names because this show is actually on 5 or 6 different channels on Facebook, and a couple of channels you have to get permission from Facebook to show your name. So thank you, though, to the Facebook user wishing Marvin a happy birthday. If you come directly onto the NAACP page, we should be able to see your name. But thank you. We really appreciate that. Marvin, so what's going on in Georgetown? I'm not there.
There's so much going on in Georgetown, Marilyn.
Go ahead, and I got to grab something. So I hear you. Go. I got to grab something.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
We're going to start off with the voters registration drive today at the old fairground behind the Georgetown Housing Authority. I think it's the Jason Collins property right there where his barbershop is at. That's sponsored by the Howard Alumni, the Soul Saving Station, Black Vote Matters, and the NAACP. This was a great time to go out and there's food and stuff out there. So just go out there and just get registered to vote. If you know anyone that's not registered, try to get them down there. This is a critical year for election, especially for the city of Georgetown. This was a turning point, in Georgetown, one way or the other, whether the Democrat or Republican win. But you have to vote based on what keeps you in a healthy living condition. And just a meeting the other night, Marilyn, at the Howard Center, there was a lot of voices that came out in reference to this election, and what they really want, what they really need. in that meeting from the CARES Act. It's a lot of funding there, $4.5 million, and the Black community needs to be served. The minority community have not been served, and they need to be served. And I don't blame the mayor that's in there right now, because he had 2 years of COVID himself, COVID situation in Georgetown here. So, I guess he served for about 6 months without it. So just put your time in and stuff and think about the situation and get out and vote. Give them a chance to get you where you need to be. The Black community needs to be served, because that's the most underserved community. One of the most underserved community in Georgetown County is the west end of Georgetown, when you look at it. And that is shameful. We need to really push our candidates to be more transparent, and not our candidates, but our councilmen and our mayors and county councilmen and everyone that's elected. Be more transparent and make sure that you ask the question, where is your money going? And be specific on what you want and follow through with it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Consistency makes things happen. Speaking out makes things happen, and voting makes things happen, but you have to be consistent about it. And about what you want for your community. So y'all get out and vote. It's coming up November 2nd, but voting starts October 4th. We need to do early voting. Go ahead and get your vote in for the upcoming city election. What else? I know coming up. There's a voter registration today at 1 Lincoln Drive.
Yeah, that starts at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
1 o'clock. Please get out and go and get registered to vote. It's necessary to register to vote. Your vote is your voice. And I say that because those that you vote for speaks for you and your needs. So voting is the most critical act and law, the Voting Rights Act, that you will ever have to fight for and continuously fight for, because it's trying to be, different states across the nation is trying to change the Voting Rights Act because of those who became the minority versus the majority now. So we have to be very careful and say we don't want to vote, or we have no reason to vote, because it's going to impact you hugely. If you look at just from the pandemic and just getting funding through this pandemic, COVID-19 funding, losing your homes, back on rent, stuff of that nature, it's huge. And that all plays a role on, especially for those who's sitting in office right now and who have sat in office under this pandemic in past situations. So know who you're voting for and know why you're voting, and know that they have your concerns at heart, and make sure it shows up in your pocketbook, in your health care, in your medical care. It's huge, in jobs, minimum wage, all that is huge in who you put into office. And quit letting people tell you that $7.25 is the minimum wage and that's all they can pay you. No, that's what they choose to pay you. I don't care where you are. $7.25 does not put a limit on what someone can pay you. That's a choice by the organization that you're working for, or the industry, or the restaurant, wherever you're working. That's a choice why they're paying you that. Quit letting people limit who you are.
Yeah.
By what they pay you.
I'm glad you brought that up, Marvin. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, I muted myself for a moment. I'm glad you brought up the minimum wage, because you hear people saying we don't need minimum wage, get rid of it. They don't want to get rid of minimum wage to raise it. They want to get rid of minimum wage to lower it even more. And they tried to really push that for a few years. Oh, that the more productive you are, your money will naturally rise. Your boss would want to give you more money. If they're not willing to pay you more than $7.25, when the basement is $7.25, they certainly not going to do it when the law is taken away. So we got to understand the context of things that people say, parties say, regarding issues and policies, and really understand that. And I wanted to bring that up because it really speaks to why we need to not only vote, but we need to show up for city, county council, school board meetings, because they talk and discuss things that we need to know. And not only do we need to show up, but number two, we need to hold our elected officials accountable, that they hold town hall meetings, that they hold meetings with, city council member, meetings with the mayor, meeting with the U.S. rep. It doesn't have to be a full town hall. It can literally be coffee with whoever's the elected official.
Exactly.
And we have to hold them accountable to do that. Go ahead.
But Marilyn, you hit it on the head too, because I heard someone said the other day, why don't other organizations hold town halls? Well, other organizations do, but they're not responsible to the candidate. The candidate needs to be holding town hall, and those that you elect need to be holding town hall. That's what needs to be holding, because you don't know what they're doing if they're not talking back to you. You can hold a town hall all day. If the candidate's not there and stuff, it's irrelevant. But if they call the town hall, it makes them responsible to you. I mean, that's what y'all need to make sure they understand that. And the voters need to request that they have town halls to bring all these things in front of them that they're trying to pass, some ordinances, the zoning changes, stuff of that nature. Because right now we're going through a situation with 458 houses trying to be dropped right here in Plantersville. Medium income community, rural community. And the average income here, just pretty much a retirement community, because the average income here is about $30,000 a year. So those that retired here might be making, $50,000, $60,000 a year. And that's where they're at right now. The children of this community, most of them are gone. So that's where you are. And you bring in homes looking at about $200,000 plus. So you have to really look at this thing from a strategic standpoint and from gentrification and stuff of that nature. And ask the tough question, tax hike, everything, financial, roads, impact studies, traffic studies. It's huge. In the community they're trying to bring it in Maryland, where they're trying to drop it at, is the worst road on 701. The worst between here and in the city of Georgetown. Plantersville will have the worst road. If you ride 701, you are ducking and dodging. And it's sad.
Mm-hmm. And they can get that road fixed. They choose not to, because you pay your taxes too. You've already paid taxes to the road. What they do to sell it to the communities, we're going to bring in all these amenities. We're going to fix your roads, but you don't have to get new houses to fix the road, because current residents, you've already paid into the system.
Well, yeah.
You just have to hold them accountable, and that's deliberate. Marvin, they neglect certain communities till they get to the point where they want to move in those communities and gentrify them. Because by neglecting the communities, they artificially suppress the value of your homes. They artificially suppress the value of your land.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you're Black, historical data. And when I say historical as in this been happening for 150 years, they have historically depress the value of homes in Black neighborhoods, but it's not historical as in it's over with. They are currently depressing the value of Black houses. People trying to sell their houses in nice areas and they're Black have been advised, take your family pictures out of your house, remove your Black presence. So your house could be sold at fair market value. They don't tell white people to do that. Mm-mm. It literally is race, but turn around and they criticize critical race theory. When that's racism. That's racism. It may not be an individual that's hurting you. It's the system, the institutions that are hurting you. And these are the type of conversations, folks, that we need to have, because if we don't, you're going to not get full value of your house. Who's going to tell you that? You're going to be sold, we're going to fix your road. Well, fix the road now. You pay taxes, don't you? Your road needs to be fixed. That's your right. We're going to bring these amenities. What amenities do the communities want? They never ask the community, say, what are the amenities you want? Because you may not want what they want to bring, because they're not building those houses for local residents. As Marvin said, they're building those houses for people who are retired.
Hello. And cutting it.
And those people are actually, they're retiring with more than 50 or 60,000. These are people retiring with six-figure incomes who, so they've got stuff in the bank that they've sold a house up north for six figures, 650, $1 million. They come down here and get more land and a bigger house for less money.
Yeah.
So that it's greed, and we can call it that, folks. It's pure greed, because if they want to make money and have a good impact on the community, they would come to the community now to make the investments.
Yeah, and the huge part about that, Marilyn, when people show up into the community with this type of housing development, these type of housing development, what happens, it tells the people in the community, you're not worthy of what we are bringing there.
Exactly.
We are bringing this here because we have other people that wants to live there at the expense of those that's already living there. It's not affordable housing, because if it was affordable, they would have done what they're supposed to do on Wedgefield. You see what I'm saying? It's in the same district, same community. But you see the difference. It's called housing discrimination. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
And it's called, in a mass of housing of that nature, it's called gentrification. Because what's going to happen, those that's not here and those that's here when they die out and the heirs' property is sitting there and stuff and the family's not paying attention anymore because they're in New York, Connecticut, and all these places, hey, they're going to slide in the courthouse step tax, sales going up, come back, they're going to tax your community out, the bottom line. So you have to be careful and make sure that 20-year land use plan, conceptual plan that they have, that they stand by it, and the zoning that they have, they stand by, because it's been put in place for a reason.
Exactly. And you need to make sure, once again, I'm going back to making sure we participate when they have these strategic planning meetings. Sometimes they may call it a charrette. That's a French term for planning. Or they'll call it a vision planning or strategic plan. We have to learn the terminology. And I'm saying that not because we are stupid people. We're not. But when you are not in their space, they use terminology that we must learn so we know what and understand what they're talking about. I'm in spaces all the time where I'm learning new terminology because something that's deliberate too.
Yes,
that's why we have to stay engaged, because it's deliberate that they keep changing terminology to hold on one second. Go ahead, Marvin.
Because they have changed terminology, because if you look at it, really English is a lot of those that came here second language, because, even the Gullah Geechee terminology and stuff and the language that's spoken and stuff, you shouldn't have to change that. And you shouldn't change that. Make them learn your language, because Gullah is a language. And we need to understand that that's a space that someone else walked into. And you don't have to change that because they came into your space. You don't have to do that. It's like taking out Black lives, and just move it to the side and stuff. So, well, they don't matter anymore. No, we need to continue to speak our language and speak it clearly so we'll understand. If they don't, hey, we'll teach them. Same way they teach us English, you teach them Gullah. But they need to learn your language, because your language have value also. And we were talking about the housing situation. That meeting is in Plantersville on the 29th of September at 6 o'clock at Plantersville Elementary School. We need to that meeting is on the 27th, which is Monday at 6 o'clock p.m. That's the housing meeting, the 458 acres. It's at Plantersville Elementary School, Monday night, the 27th at 6 o'clock p.m. The people in this area really needs to come out and make sure that their voice is heard, because there's some questions that need to be asked, and we need clarity. And the Planning Commission is going to be there. Our Planning Commission for this area is Zach Great for the Plantersville area. And the other areas, make sure you push you guys in to have these meetings. And Zach did a great job in trying to get this meeting set back up so the people's voice could be heard. That's important, So let's get our people out to that meeting. There's another meeting also that's going to be on the 29th at 6 o'clock. That's a meeting dealing with the Plansville Scenic Byway Loop, which is a great thing. That's an outdoor activity, which what they're doing during the last capital project sales tax. There was one of our initiative was to have a bikeway on the side of the road, as you see in Charleston and the other place, but they come up with a byway which takes it off the road and keep you safe. And this trail is looking at moving from St. Paul Church to Chopee, Rocky Point Park, which is a huge initiative and stuff, but it's needed. It gets people in a safe zone. They can get out and exercise again. And it's right there adjacent to the highway, which is safe, but it's off the highway totally. So come out to that meeting also. That meeting is on the 29th from 6 to 7 p.m. at Plansville Elementary School, which is Wednesday. And Thursday, they will have that meeting again on Chopee, September 30th, 6 to 7 p.m. at the Chopee Regional Resource Center. So please come out and just see what's going on and hear the conceptual plan and stuff. And you could join us in person, or you could join us virtually. It would be on Zoom also. So just go to our website. You'll see the flyer there and the Zoom link. So hey, join us. Because I will definitely be at that meeting. I'm a part of the Park and Rec Commission, and we'll definitely hear your voice, and the community voice will be honored. Also, we have another Tuesday, September 28th at 6:30 p.m. Come out in the city of Georgetown. It's the election. It's the mayors and the city council election. Huge election. That's on the 28th at 6:30 p.m. Come out. Hey, listen to the candidates. This is a Democratic rally. It's a unity rally. Make sure you come out because those voices that's speaking back to you, those are voices that's going to represent you if you choose to elect them. So please come out. That's a Democratic rally. That's sponsored by the AFL-CIO. That's sponsored by the AFL-CIO. So please come out and just see what's going on. And it's a unity rally. If you don't hear them any other time, come out and hear them now. Know who you're voting for. And remember to vote in this election. This is one of the most critical elections in the history of Georgetown City. It's one of the critical elections. So every vote needs to come out, especially the Black vote. We got to get those votes out. It's imperative that the Black vote get out because your vote is being distorted every day by folks that just don't want you to vote. So get out and vote. Black people, people of color need to vote. And remember that you are the majority now. You are the majority. Maybe not everywhere, but across the United States, you are the majority. That's why your votes are continuously being trying to change, trying to be stopped, absentee ballots, everything. They're taking everything out of the system. ID identification. They don't ever say that you have to show. We never say we don't want to show an ID. They want to specify the ID, in which that's not fair because you have driver's license, you have student ID, you have government ID, federal ID, military ID. Some of these things they're trying to change to shorten the vote of the minority community. So those things are critical. We fight for it. The John Lewis Voting Rights Act, and we fight for it. We have to continuously fight for those situations. That's pretty much everything that we have today. And make sure, COVID vaccine is necessary, especially those that's in school and our children into the Black community, because we are the most vulnerable to COVID and most vulnerable to the Delta virus. So please get vaccinated. Please get vaccinated. Get out and vote. We also have a South Carolina Stay Plus Assistant program that's coming out. What this program is designed to do, it help those that's behind in rent. And it's a program that's sponsored by South Carolina Stay Plus. It's COVID-19 housing assistance. So what this does, those that in this COVID-19 and job loss and stuff of that nature, getting behind on rent because of loss of jobs or being displaced from your homes, this money will help bring you back to where you need to be. It's first you must be a renter. The household must be obligated to pay rent, a residential dwelling in South Carolina. Now, this is over South Carolina State Plus, but Georgetown was one of the counties that we were able to get through to make sure we could get this assistance here. So saying that, the household member is at risk for housing instability. I already went over that. Your income must meet federal requirement. The total household income is at or below 80% of the median income, which Georgetown have been identified of that housing. You have experienced financial hardship due to COVID-19, and you don't have to have had COVID-19 in order to get the assistance. They will pay up to 6 months back on your rent, and make sure that those make sure that you have the proper document. The location for this assistant, it will be the NAACP will be co-sponsoring this assistant, which we will start on Friday, October 1st, from 1 to 6 at Howard, which our page will have a flyer on it between now and Monday. But Friday will be the first opening for this, which will be the NAACP will be there to help fill out the application and help make sure that you get the assistance that you need. It also pays for electricity. It pays for back rent up to 6 months. It pays for water and sewage, and it also pays for moving costs. So it's a great program. It's already been operated in other areas. The Saturday, October 2nd, we'll be at Parkersville Rec in Pawleys Island, down there with Vincent Davis and those in that area. Monday will be October 4th. We'll be at the Housing Authority on 1 Lincoln Street with the Housing Authority out there. Friday, October 15th, we'll be at the Choppy Recreation Center. And Saturday, October 16th, we'll be at the Howard at the Andrews Recreation Center, and back again Monday on the 18th of October. We'll get all this information out on our Facebook page. Critical, come and get your money. It's your tax money anyhow. And if you're behind, it's an opportunity to catch up, but do not leave your home because you don't have funding to pay for your rent stuff. Come and see us, and that will be the location. Remember, October 1st, we'll be at the Howard Auditorium, Howard Recreation Center in Georgetown. October 1st, Friday, and Saturday will be in Parkersville, and we'll move on from there.
Good news, Marvin. I was hearing you as I was, there's a lot going on, so I apologize. Good way to wrap everything up. Anything else we need to talk about?
I think that's pretty much it, Marilyn. I just ask everyone to just really get out and vote, and don't vote based on what someone else tells you. Vote based on what you know, because you have asked the right question and you're in the right forums, and making sure that you can validate what people are telling you. If you can't validate it, take it home with you, study it, come back and ask the question again.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. Question. Get educated. Because that's what we're all about. Educating folks on your voting.
Educate, everyone. Motivate, and activate. And that's the one thing I like with the NAACP and other groups that we're involved in, that we provide training. We put information out, but we encourage people, do your own research. We've always done that. We stand on the data, the science, the policies and issues that we've worked on. And we respect folks enough to understand that you may not have the information. Doesn't mean that you're dumb. Actually, a lot of smart people, they don't have knowledge and information. So we push people in getting knowledge and information so you can use your intelligence that you have to be discerning. So we respect people for where they are, and hopefully that we'll all come along so that the community can move to better places. We're not out here being dogmatic. We're not out here saying we're the only ones with the answers. We are just encouraging folks to get more knowledge by having Spotlight and participating in other shows and rallies and town halls and all those means of sharing knowledge that are out there. So just even talking about the rent assistance, that comes from another source. We're just getting the information out there to the people because, Marvin, you are correct. It's our money. We
It's
pay the
our money.
taxes. Do not let anybody shame you and not getting your money. It's the same thing with unemployment. You've paid into the system. So when you unfortunately lose a job, you can go get your money.
Go
It's
get your
like
money.
it's insurance. It's basic. It's unemployment insurance managed by the government. And it really burns me, especially in the time of COVID, people talking about, oh, people just want to go get unemployment. Hell, we done put it in the system.
It's your money.
It's your money. Go get it.
You were paid, most of the people that's unemployed in Maryland been paid $7.25 an hour.
Thank
So
you.
this is money you should have been getting anyhow to help bring you up to a living,
Wage, a living wage. Thank you.
living wage.
Thank
So
you.
don't let foolish people tell you, but oh, it's not your money, and and you shouldn't be doing
It's
this.
my money when you've been
Yeah.
paying taxes too.
Yeah.
You know,
Go get a
foolishness.
job, but ask for that $15 an hour raise. Don't let
That's
them
right.
know $7.25. That's the bottom
And if
line.
you can get more
Oh,
because
yeah.
you've invested in yourself to gain greater knowledge, skill, increase your skill sets, ask for more than $15.
Hello.
And you know what's happening now? That's the great wake up. What they're saying, it's the great resignation is what they call it.
Yeah.
People not putting up this foolish anymore. And I'm not even talking about the owners and the bosses, but people who your own peers will hold you back talking about you don't need unemployment or they just out there with the people. Why they not working? Well, they took your advice and they went and got another job. They took your advice and they went and got more skills. They took your advice and went back to school. They took your advice and started their own business.
Yep.
That's why y'all have a shortage in your restaurants and stuff. In many ways we need to get over ourselves. But Marvin, I got to wrap it up because I really got to go before they kick me out this hotel.
They're not going to kick you out. They're not going to kick you out.
Yeah, I'm changing the room. So,
yeah,
but
we can get one off there right now. But remember to support your local organizations that's supporting you. Remember to support the NAACP. Our youth chapter, may support us. Just go on NAACP.org or NAACP.com and pull us up. Georgetown branch, just support us because we trying to do a whole lot in the community. If you hear someone bashing your organization, especially like the NAACP, ask them the question why and what are you doing? Bottom line. Because all kinds of crazy stuff come out because of called command and control. And those that's in front of those organizations, they put in a lot of time. The Divine Nines and, the Gullah Geechee Chamber of Commerce, the Citizens of Progress, you name it, the AFL-CIO, people going to bash us, because that's what people do. But those that have any sense whatsoever, ask them why. And why are you going to bash something that I might need one day? The bottom line. Once they kill it, remember, all you have left is the basher. The basher. And that's a conversation. That's a conversation, and that's a soap opera.
Yeah.
Bottom line. Don't kill something. We've been here since 1905. We say 1909, but it's 1905. It was just under the radar, for that first 4 years. But hey, remember.
And we've been doing the work.
Here.
And look, and we've been doing the work for 400. That was just the formalizing of the work. I do want to end on I think a happy note, Marvin. I want to thank everyone on behalf of the Reuben and Daniels family. Yep, that's right. Families, my cousin, they named a building at Duke University after her yesterday. And I'm telling you, man, I'm still emotional. We're still here, still celebrating. We are going to the Duke versus Kansas football game today. We have they've given us tickets and stuff. So when people give you an opportunity to experience something new, I haven't been to a college game in quite a while. I won't say how long, but I'm gonna go. But we're going just a family fellowshipping with family and friends and other folks, the other folks associated with Duke. But I want to thank folks who've reached out and just celebrated along with us. And on behalf of my family, we're very grateful and appreciative of the shout outs and just the awesome, kind words. And just, it really is history. And my cousin was just a gracious person, very intelligent, smart. cared about her community, just a prime role model. Can you imagine being on Duke University and integrating it in the 60s? And they call them the first five, and there's one living now. He spoke
Amazing.
yesterday. And there were 2 Black men and 3 Black females. One was engaged. And he tells the story how the 2 Black males decided that they were going to make sure they escorted the Black females everywhere. And if they wanted to go to a movie or on a date, they would take them. And it wasn't romantic in the sense, it was
Protection.
That
That's huge.
they had to do that. And all of them went on to lead very productive, fruitful, social justice lives.
So, question, Marilyn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I hear so much stuff today.
Mm-hmm.
They went to protect them.
Yeah, they had to make that
And
decision.
your cousin is one of them.
Yeah, the first 5 did. Yeah.
Wow. And
she's the only one from South Carolina. The rest were from North Carolina, and they did not know about each other until their first day on campus.
That's huge.
They thought they were working in a vacuum. So as soon as they came on campus that first day, they realized that there were others, and they all became very, very close. I'm talking about lifelong friends. Deep, like my cousin's widower, Ed talked about that in his speech yesterday, how they would get on the phone and has the husband, he knew that was a special relationship.
Marilyn, that's huge, and the first 5, God in mercy, that's a Rosa Parks story and a Dr. King story. And while you was talking
I've heard it before because
you talked to me about it before.
Yeah, and we've been at Duke for different because she ended up being on the board of trustees.
Wow.
And she would invite my mother when my mother was living, because my mother ended up being the last of her siblings. So she became the matriarch of the Daniels family. So my mother and her mother were sisters.
Wow.
And
wow.
So my mother, they would, when they have different receptions and events at Duke, they would make sure my mother was there. And there was the family joke that my mother would hang out with my cousin Shawnee, the daughter of my first cousin, and they would go to the receptions and drink the wine. And my mother would always come back and like, "Ooh, I just love Duke. They just know how to do it up." And it really is Duke University. Really, I'm not saying other schools, but Duke really is, they lay it out. And then after my mother passed, I became the one that would represent, and that's the way my family just operates. We try to have representation from all of the branches of the family at different events.
While you were talking, it sounded like you was talking about yourself in the matriarch. Right. I'm serious. You were talking about how strong she was, and you always breaking barriers. You know what I'm saying? And moving obstacles and tearing down
I'm honored that you think that.
You tear down walls. So you step out on grace. You give up so much, things that people will run and grab hold to, like jobs. To step out to just on faith. Even to form the Gullah Geechee Chamber and the Hemingway Group and stuff like that. Gullah Geechee Seafood Trail, and even this Plantersville Scenic Route, they're going to tie right back into the Gullah Geechee Seafood Trail. So all these things are connecting.
They're all connected.
But you are talking about yourself because that's a legacy that you are talking about. You're a living legacy of your family.
Yeah, we all in a family, and I know you understand this, Marvin. That much is expected of those who've been given much, but also we show the next generation. They get exposed to things. That's how they learn. Learning starts at home. So when we do things, when we come together as a family, we're bringing in younger generations so they can see what can be achieved. And if you can see it, you can believe it. You can achieve it. That's it really is, that simple.
Your past too, Marilyn. Your past will drive you. Because I was just telling my sister yesterday, we're going to jump off because you got to go before you get thrown.
I know. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Mary Kid.
but it's so important that we make sure we represent. You know what I'm saying? And we can represent good and bad, but make sure that the path you're on is honorable. And I tell people, my name is my brand. But a lot of times people use your name out there and throw it into stuff and bash you and all this other stuff. I don't chase the stupid stuff because what people say about you is really they're talking about themselves because they have lost the level of intelligence, or they have gotten to a point where they have nothing else to say but degrade you. You know what I'm saying? So you have to move past that. Because I was talking to my niece yesterday morning, the one that graduated from Georgia Tech, first Black female, computational science engineer with a doctorate degree from Georgia Tech University. And I was just talking to her about she was the first one to come and say happy birthday, Uncle Tony. Then the other one called, and nurse practitioner and stuff. And they just talk about how grandmother drove them. My mother just drove them to continue to go. Be better than I am. Be better than your mother and father. And that's important.
Yeah.
Do next generation.
Yeah. We're laying the groundwork for the next generation to do better. And that's one of the things that drives me.
Yeah.
I saw it in living color and I heard it, that we have to be better than the previous generation because they've laid the groundwork for us.
And check out.
And I have to lay the groundwork for the next generation. And let me say this very quickly. What a lot of people don't know is my cousin Wilhelmina, who we honored this weekend, her father was at Duke with her.
Wow.
Working on his doctorate in divinity. That's why he was there first. He was the first African-American to receive a doctorate in divinity from Duke University.
That is huge.
He was already in the school, and that's why they approached him because they realized she was going to finish high school. Wow. That's how she became the only one from South Carolina, part of the first 5. Wow. He was the second African-American to receive a doctorate from Duke University, period, any kind of doctorate.
Wow.
But he was the first to receive the doctorate in divinity. So we're talking generations.
Yeah.
And he was the president of Morris College at the same time.
My niece went to Duke. She went to Duke and she got a law degree out of Georgia University of Georgia in Atlanta. But that is huge, Maryland. That history, God, that is huge. And those are things we should celebrate. Those are legacies.
We should celebrate the history on the local level, state and federal level, because our next generations are watching us.
I heard you said consistently, but about your mother and teaching and educating people and not taking a library to the grave. I heard you talk that all the time. And you also, and Ebony came up. It was a simple term. We are made for more. That is so huge. It's so huge when you hear it, but it means so much. Just a simple sentence. Just telling someone that, it was huge. It put chills over you.
Yeah.
We are made for more, and we are stronger together. That's those 5. They went together, and they kept it strong. And they didn't bash the female and put them behind them or misuse them, abuse them. They walked with them to make sure they were safe. So we have to learn to walk with our brothers and sisters. With. Not in front of them. Walk with them. Because a lot of times, they won't see what you're seeing until they trip over it if they're not with you. If you're almost telling someone to get behind me, that's a problem. I tell people to walk with me. I don't ever tell anyone to get behind me. I tell people to support me, but never get behind me. Walk.
That's right. Me. We all bring something to the table. So good words. And I think that's just a wonderful way to end the show today. Thank you, Marvin. Thank you for the information and the patience, because I had family.
One thing I'm just going to say, remember Steve Williams, 24 extraordinary people who made a difference. Huge.
Thank you. Right here in Georgetown.
Right here in Georgetown. This is Steve Williams' 6th book. Get these books. You talking about the history of Georgetown? It starts with Steve Williams' books, because those are fact-finding information that he have in there. Kudos goes out to Steve, brother that helped with the NAACP, extraordinary press publicity and communication. Strong brothers. Support, speak the language, a walking historian.
Yeah. So everybody, we're going to wrap it up and everything. Thank you for being with us this morning and sharing a few minutes with us. We're going to have to hop on out. But Marvin, I'll be seeing you tomorrow. I'll be back. Is it tomorrow? Yeah, I'll be back. I'll see you Monday. My days are all over the place. I'll be seeing you soon. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend, and good morning.
And a shout out to Miss Florine Lennon.
Oh, yeah. How's she doing?
She's doing great.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Just tell the community to continue to pray for her. Now, you're talking about a legacy that she have left here. I mean, if people just know the fight that she have done for the Black community and the community at large, the work that she have done, it's extraordinary. Because I walk with her in a lot of her work and tell you, she's like my blood, my right hand.
Yeah.
And she's strong. She came out of the hospital on yesterday. She's at home. She's doing well. And she's gonna fight through. She's a fighter. So just keep her in prayer. We just ask the community to keep her in prayer because she had a procedure the other day. I was there. I had to go down and I had to touch her and see her.
You did, yeah.
Oh yeah, I had to go.
You had to go lay your eye on her.
I had to lay my eyes on her. When I got in there, she said, "Hey, where is he?" I know that question was gonna be asked. So I was there, and we got to make sure we take care of people. When they're down, you still got to touch them and reach out to them because that's when they need you the most.
Yeah, that's right.
And don't blow up her telephone because she needs rest. Just pray for her.
Just pray for her.
Thank
you, Marvin. I'll see you tomorrow. If not, I'll see you Monday. Have a good one.
You too, babe.
Good night, everyone.